Hey, this is Dr. Amy Borgi here. I am going to be your instructor for Guidance 3 for the fall of 2025. I'm going to take a look at your syllabus here just to give you some information really quick. Your course syllabus is located in Canvas. So we are actually using Canvas for this course. You need to check in on day 1 to reserve your spot in the course. Anybody who does not enter the class, meaning access it on Canvas and access the materials. So once you log into Canvas and click on our course, it will show me that you have entered the class. Once you're entered into the class, that constitutes as you showing up because this is an online asynchronous class, meaning you can access the material anytime you like. There's not a set or specific time which we are meeting on Zoom or anything. So I will put up all the materials on Monday and you will have until the following Monday to turn in your homework. All homework is due Monday at 11:59 p.m. New coursework for the next week goes up on Monday by 9 p.m. Now, I want to give you some important information right now. This is for section number 43368. Guidance 3. This is a full term course, meaning we start in August on 8/11, August 11th. We end on 12/12 or December 12th. We do have a Labor Day holiday on September 1st. We've got no school for Veterans Day on November 11th, and then we have a Thanksgiving break from November 27th through November 30th. And note that that's only a couple of days. So we do still have work to do during that week. However, because this is a longer class, it's 18 weeks long, we have less coursework, less homework per week than we would if it was a shorter term class. So that's always good. I want you to also know that this class is worth 3 units and it is a transferable course that transfers to your, like if you're trying to get into another school, like a 4-year university, this course transfers to other colleges. Okay, so it's very important that you watch this video in its entirety. Why? Because it has all, and I mean all of the information that you need to be successful in my class. So, first of all, you need to access this course on the first day that the course is available. That's August 11th. If you fail to access the course on August 11th, I will send you an email reminding you that you didn't check in, and I'll give you till Tuesday to check in. Anyone who doesn't check in by Tuesday night, so that's going to be August 12th by midnight, I'm going to go ahead and drop those students out of the course, probably on Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon. But you will be dropped if you don't access the course within that time frame, because I may have students who are on the wait list to add the class. After I drop students during the first week, I will no longer be able to drop students. And so if for any reason you want to drop the class after that first week, because I will only be dropping people who don't check in the first 2 days. If you check in on Wednesday, I will never drop you from the class. You have to drop yourself. If you check in on day 1 of the class and you've accessed the class, once you access the class, I will no longer ever drop you from the class. You must drop yourself if you do not want to take the class anymore. There are 2 deadlines you need to know about. The first one is September 1st. This is the date that you have to drop the class if you don't want it to appear on your GPA or on your, I'm sorry, not on your GPA, but on your transcript. So if you don't want it to be on your record, it'll be like you never took the class if you drop by September 1st. We do have another drop deadline, which is, I believe it's on the 28th of November, or I'm sorry, October. Yeah, 24th. So October 24th is the drop deadline with a W. So a W means you withdrew from the course. It's a W next to the class as your grade. That W means you withdrew from the course without completing it. And if you have too many W's, you can be placed on what we call progress probation, where you don't have as many completed classes as you have withdrawn classes. So if you take only 1 semester and you withdraw from all the classes, that may put you on progress probation. So be careful. If you drop the course before the 28th of October, but after September 1st, you will have that W on your report card. the W will never go away off of your report card. But if you do take the class at a later time and pass it, the grade will go towards your GPA. The W doesn't count towards anything towards your GPA. It's just the W that shows you withdrew from the class. However, this is very important. If you're planning on not taking the class for any reason, please drop yourself and my Chafee view from the class. If you think that you need to drop the class because you're afraid you're failing the class, I really highly suggest that you contact me before you drop. So let me give you my contact information. Grab a pen, pencil, or put it in your phone right now so you have it. You will need my phone number throughout the class because this is the fastest and most efficient way to reach me. My phone number is 909-224-1204. I respond quickly to text. So I will respond as quickly as I can, meaning if sometimes I'm unavailable, I have a 9 to 5 job. Actually, my job is 7:30 to 5. And so between 7:30 and 4:30, I am completely unavailable. After 4:30, I am available to respond to texts. If I have time on my lunch break, I will try to respond if it's an emergency or something. But typically I'm not available during the day. I am available in the evenings. And this is an online class, like completely online class. It's asynchronous. You don't have to show up to any course meetings. And so I'm mostly available in the evenings because I work during the day. And I assume a lot of people probably also work during the day or go to school during the day or have something going on during the day. But in the evenings, I'm available if you need help. I'm also available on the weekends, but of course, sometimes I'm doing weekend stuff. And so I may not be readily available, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. Texting is the fastest way to reach me. So if you feel like you're not going to pass the class or you're concerned, you think you might want to drop. Before you drop, please talk to me because a lot of times students are still in a position to pass the class, even though it may be the midterm or something. And maybe you're failing at the midterm, but we still have a lot of weeks to go because we have an 18-week class. So there's a lot of assignments throughout the whole time. The other thing is I offer about, I want to say 200 points of extra credit throughout the class. So if you do miss something, you can kind of make it up. I do not take any late work whatsoever, just so you know. My policy is no late work, and here's the reasons why. Number one, this is a career planning class, if you didn't know. So we're working on career planning in here. And so part of career planning is learning to meet deadlines and manage your time efficiently and effectively. And I want to teach you how to do that. And so in order to do that, I have to have firm deadlines on things. That means there's no wiggle room. So if you miss a deadline, you miss a deadline. It's like the real world. If you miss the deadline, you miss the deadline. And that's it. You don't get to make it up. There's not another time when you can do it. It's just you missed it. And so you can use extra credit in my class to make up stuff, but it's not going to be that same assignment. So if you miss an assignment, your best bet is to forget about that assignment and move on to the next thing. However, we do have what we call a portfolio in this class. So at the very end of the term, you're going to be putting together a portfolio that contains a lot of the information from the assignments you completed. So if you don't complete assignments the first time around, you may not have the assignments to put into that final portfolio. And so you may miss points at the end too. So it's in your best interest to do all the work as it comes up and keep track of your assignments. You are going to need some books for this class. But before I go into that, I had you get out your day planner or your phone or whatever to write my contact info. I do have an email as well. So let me give that to you. It's AMY period. My last name is BORGHI at chafee.edu. So it's Amy period Borgi at chafee.edu. Don't forget the period in between my first and last name. Amy period Borgi at chafee.edu. My last name is a little hard to spell, and so that's why email isn't always the greatest way to reach me because I think you have to remember how to spell my name. But maybe save my email in your email so you have it. If you need to email me, it takes me up to 48 hours to answer emails. So please, if you need me right away, please text. So some things that you need to know about late work and things like that. Late work is not accepted. However, if you do have a situation in which you or your child is ill for a total of 1 week or more, so like you were sick for a whole week and you have a doctor's note, you can show that, or your child has a doctor's note, they can show that, then I will let you make up that week's worth of work. If you turn in work late, this is the process. You will let me know that you have an excuse and you will get permission to turn it in late, and you will turn it in the following week. So it will be due the next week by that next Monday, and you can turn that work in to my email rather than on Canvas, because on Canvas all the assignments close at a certain date. You'll have to send me an email reminding me that we talked, that you're turning this work in late, and you will include your excuse. So you will include the doctor's note that goes with the late work in an email to me by the following Monday. So we are using Canvas. So you will be turning in your assignments in Canvas. And to do that, I actually have a video that you can watch. So in Canvas, there's a video you can watch on how to use Canvas to turn in assignments, and it shows you how to turn things in. There's a couple of glitchy things that you need to know about Canvas and a couple rules I have. So first of all, no using cloud links, which is like a Google Doc link or a link to Dropbox or a link to any other cloud service where you're linking to a paper or an assignment. Those are not allowed in this class, and this is why. I had people cheating because you can still make changes to those assignments in the cloud before I grade them. So like, let's say it takes me 3 days to start grading your assignment. That means you have 3 extra days to like add to your assignment if it's in the cloud. And so I don't allow that. You have to either copy and paste. So I would say like maybe do your work in a text document and then copy that text document and paste it into the text box for the assignment and then upload it. Or you can turn it in as a .docs or .doc document. So those documents are fine. If you use Pages or if you use Google Docs, your best bet for turning stuff in is to copy and paste your stuff into the text box or save it as a Word document. Microsoft Word interfaces best with Canvas. Pages does not at all. It is really tough to grade your assignments when you turn them in on Pages. I will do it, but just know that it's a harder hassle for me, and you want me grading your papers probably to be as smoothly as possible. So you can get the best grade possible, right? So you want to make sure that you turn it in as a document, Word document, if you can do that. Canvas has some glitches. So the first glitch is that on Chafee's Canvas, this isn't true of other colleges that use Canvas, but I've noticed with Chafee, Canvas times out and it doesn't recover your work. So and when you come back, it looks like everything's fine and you'll be typing. And then when you go to press send, that's when it tells you that, you're not connected to Canvas and you have to sign in. But anything that you were working on is just going to be lost. So you want to make sure that I usually just do my work on a document. So I go to like Microsoft Word, Google Docs, Pages, do my work there, and then save it as a document and upload it to Canvas, or I copy and paste it into the text box. Don't let Canvas time out on you. The other glitch, well, it's not really a glitch. It's just the way that Canvas is set up. So Canvas will not allow you to turn in an assignment and then turn in another piece of that assignment. It just doesn't work that way. So if I turn in one thing to Canvas and then I turn in something else to that same assignment, it bumps out the first assignment and replaces it with the second one. So if you have more than one file or photo or piece of the assignment that you want to upload, you have to do it at the same time. So you'll put the first piece in, press enter, and then you'll pick choose another. And then you'll put that second piece in, push enter, then pick choose another, and then put that one in, however many you have. Then you'll press upload, and they'll all upload at once. You can check your assignment to make sure you have the right files by looking at the top right-hand corner, or sometimes it flips to the bottom of the page if for some reason you have a smaller screen or you have it stretched big. It may not be right on the side, it will be at the bottom, but there'll be a list of the things you turned in and you can click on them and make sure they're the correct things. And I strongly recommend that you do that. There are instructions like videos on how to turn things in your first assignments in Canvas. So I think the first one is to turn in your books. So let's talk about that right now. So what you're going to do, your first week of assignments, you've got two big assignments, okay? So the first one is you're going to turn in your books and day planner into the assignment that says purchase your textbooks. And then the other assignment is a discussion called U 2.0. So you're going to do those two things. Your assignment is to purchase a day planner, and the book for this class is optional, meaning you don't have to purchase it. But if you do purchase the book, you will get extra credit in this assignment if you upload proof that you did. So for the day planner and or the optional textbook, to turn them in, you can use a picture of the physical book held in front of your face. So this is the book that is optional. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. Some people ask me, can I use the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? And the answer is sure. But this one's a much easier read, and I'm going to show you, like, it has pictures. Oh, that was my bookmark. But it has pictures inside, and it's more, I would say this is written at like a 7th or 8th grade reading level. So it's actually kind of easier. It's easier to read. I feel like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was written more at like a college level or maybe even a high school level. So, it just depends on how exciting you want the material to be for yourself. So, but you're welcome to also purchase that other book if you'd prefer the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's more geared towards business, whereas this book is more geared towards school, which is why I chose it. But it is talking about high school, but honestly, the concepts still apply to college just fine. So this is an optional textbook. You can purchase it. There's this hardcover. There's also a newer cover. So this is the old one, but any version of this book is fine. Just make sure it's not the little mini version. There's a little tiny book floating around. You want your book to be like 5x9 or something like around that size, not 3x5, okay? Because there's one that's the size of like a 3x5 card, and it's not the right one, and it doesn't have all the information in it. So this is the book you want. You can also purchase the online version of this book, although it's a little more expensive. I believe you can buy this book brand new for like $15, but there are a lot of good deals online, and feel free to get a used one in paperback form. That's fine. So you'll take a picture with the book like held up in front of your face, and there is a little picture of how I want that to look for you in the assignment. If you buy a digital copy, please take a picture of somewhere in the middle of your online copy. Don't take the beginning or end of the book, because those are pages that are easily just, obtained off the internet. You don't have to purchase the book. You can just like go get a picture of the first couple pages of the 7 Habits, because there's like a trial version or something out there. So like take a picture from the middle of the book, or I accept receipts. So you could show me a receipt that proves you purchased it. It could be like your name on the receipt or anyone's name. Honestly, just you need the receipt to show me you purchased it. The other thing you need, and so I don't want to say you need this because this is optional. It's extra credit. But the part of the assignment that you need a day planner. You need a physical day planner. And I wonder if I have my day planner around close by. I don't see it nearby me, but basically what I'm going to say is I always carry a day planner with me. I always use a day planner, but there was a time that I didn't. And I have that whole story for you in Canvas if you want to watch the video on how to use your day planner. You also could just read the text that goes with that. It's the short version. Either way is fine. But what I need you to do is make sure that you purchase a day planner and you show me proof in this assignment by taking a picture of yourself with your day planner like so, or uploading a receipt. So the day planner needs to be either daily or weekly, not monthly. So you want not a whole month on the page. You want a week on your 2 pages. So if I open this, like let's say it's a day planner and I open it, I want to see a whole week on these 2 pages, or I want to see day, okay? Not a whole month on the page, because you're going to be writing a lot of stuff on this day planner and you want to make sure you have enough space to do that. Size of day planner doesn't matter. What the day planner looks like doesn't matter, but it has to be an actual day planner, not just a like spiral notebook with lines in it, okay? So make sure you show me proof that you purchased a day planner. That's the actual points for the assignment. That's a pretty easy assignment, considering you don't actually need the book. There are some other things that you need to purchase for the class. There's a $15 requires a credit card assignment called the self-directed search. We're going to hit that assignment later in the term, but do know you're going to need a credit card and you're going to need $15. I do believe they take like ATM debit cards as long as it's got a credit symbol on it, but you're going to have to purchase that later in the term. It's not now. So it's when you take the assessment, it's $15. This is the self-directed search. It's actually a career, like what careers would fit best with what you're good at and what you enjoy doing. So it's a good career assessment. And when we take that, I really want you to take it. There isn't a free version available. That one, you have to pay the $15. If for some reason you can't pay that $15, like you can do extra credit to make up for that, but you can't make up for the fact that you didn't get that information because it's important information. So I really hope that you're able to put aside that $15. So really all I'm asking you to pay for this class is $15. I think you can afford it. And if you can't, then you can do extra credit. So also you can purchase the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. We have an option for $50-ish to purchase the actual test. But there is a free version of the test that is less reliable and valid. Like it's not as accurate, but you can take that if you don't have the $50 to pay or you don't want to pay that $50. So it's kind of up to you. Those are all the things that you'll need to purchase throughout the class. There are some additional things you'll need. So one of the things is Zoom. So you need Zoom because I do offer Zoom meetings with me throughout the term where students can earn extra credit by popping in and saying hello. I just want to meet you guys. That's it. So there's no agenda. You don't have to have a reason to meet with me. It's just like, hey, we're online, like talking this whole time. It would be really cool to see who you are and to introduce ourselves and just say hi. So I have some idea of who I'm working with here, whose papers am I grading, who are you, and maybe I can offer you some wonderful positivity or something. Maybe you can offer that to me. Maybe we could just have a really positive, great interaction and just get to know you a little bit. And you can get to know me a little bit. So if you pop in, I see people in 5-minute intervals. So basically everybody shows up and I take people from the waiting room one at a time, first come, first serve. And I meet with each student for about 5 minutes, say hello, give you some extra credit for showing up. We'll have a few of those throughout the term because this is a long term. I usually get 2 or 3 of those approved student meetings. Those are like my office hours, we'll say. Those are to be announced though, because as of now, they haven't told me how many office hours I'm going to have for this term. So I haven't scheduled those yet, but I will be scheduling them. And you'll see in Canvas, the very first module in modules view. So when you click on modules on the left-hand side, when you click on modules on your left-hand side, this looks like you're right. So it'd be your left-hand side. When you click over there, you're going to see like a lot of things you can click on. So you click on modules to access modules view. When you access modules, Zoom will be the first block and it'll be all the extra credit meetings I will post there. So make sure you tune in. The big deal is this. You need to make sure that you're checking the announcements in the course. Why? Well, that's the only way I have to communicate new information to you throughout the class. So if there's a change to the syllabus, and there will be, if there's a change to assignments, and there will be, I'm very notorious for deleting assignments that don't make sense. So like if we have too much going on that week, I might push an assignment to another week or even just delete that assignment altogether. I am not trying to overwork us here. I'm trying to give us the right amount of work so that way we're busy and we're learning and we're engaged and we're getting from the class what is intended, which I don't want to overload you with work, but I do want you to engage with the materials and work that is assigned. And so if I feel like it's too much, I'll just delete something out. But all of that will be communicated in announcements. I also offer a ridiculous amount of random extra credit points throughout the term, but I offer them mainly through the announcements. The other way that I offer extra credit is through direct extra credit assignments that will appear in your syllabus, and I will mention them also in Canvas, and you'll see a firm due date on those. Those due dates are throughout the term, and so I have extra credit throughout the whole class, but I have more loaded towards the end of the term when people kind of need it more. I also just offer random extra credit or incentives. And I'm going to say this, like, you never know what you're going to get week by week, but I do reward people for turning in their work early. So I think I mentioned that homework is always due on the following Monday after it appears in the syllabus or in Canvas, unless it has a specific due date. So, like, for example, we may have assignments that take a few weeks to get done. And so when we do those assignments, they'll have a due date on them. If it has a due date, it's due on that date. If it doesn't have a due date, it's due the following Monday by 11:59 p.m. I always post new work for the next week by 9 o'clock p.m. on Mondays. So Monday's a big day in this class. So you want to make sure that you're checking the announcements, especially on Monday. But I tend to add announcements on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. Sometimes I'll do Saturdays, but I would make sure that you're popping in a few times a week to Canvas specifically to check out the announcements and see if there's any updates to the syllabus or to your coursework. Because if I delete an assignment, you definitely want to make sure you don't spend your time working on it when it's deleted, okay? And also, I do let people know what kind of extra credit I've given to people for turning in work early in those announcements. I also announce when I've posted new things or when there's something important that you need to know about an assignment that maybe might be difficult if you don't know that information. So because this is a longer class and we have a lot going on in the class, it's very important that you stay engaged every week and that you're checking in regularly with the class. If you, for some reason, go silent on me and I don't hear from you for a while, because this is a longer class, I tend to check in around midterms and make sure everybody's still engaging. And if people aren't engaging, I just give you a gentle reminder that you need to drop the class if you're not going to be engaged. And I do want to remind you now again that if you're planning on not finishing the class for any reason, you must drop yourself in my Chafee view. That is very important. I cannot drop you after the first week. Like, I cannot. I don't have the power. You have to drop yourself. And again, to check in with me, 909-224-1204 before you drop, because oftentimes people are dropping and they don't need to. I try to set this class up so everybody can be successful as long as they are engaged. So here are some things that you also are going to need for the class. You're going to need an account with Handshake. So Handshake is a new application that we have where you will be looking up and researching jobs. And you'll be planning we'll be doing mock interviews at the later part of the class. When we do mock interviews, you want to be able to access Handshake so that way you can find jobs to do those mock interviews. You're also welcome to use, regular search engines too. You don't have to use Handshake, but there are a couple of assignments where you will have to have an account with Handshake and use it for just those assignments. We will also be using a program called Focus to Career. We already have access to that program in My Chafee view, in your My Chafee portal. In your portal, you'll have access to, I I forget what this program is called. I just blanked on it, but it's called Focus to Career. There we go. So there are a lot of Focus to Career assignments there throughout the term. Maybe every other week we have a Focus to Career assignment. Where you are working with a program that's going to help you narrow down the colleges that have the majors that you're interested in, what majors would work best with your personality, and what personality traits you have that contribute to the work environments that you might be working in, and help match you up with the right type of career. So we do a lot of Focus to Career stuff, and it's a free program. It's free to you as long as you're enrolled in a class at Chafee, so you'll still have access to those things. But I'm going to have you download reports and upload them to Canvas assignments. I do have videos for those assignments, so they aren't so difficult to complete. It's more like the turning them in or showing me the proof. You have to take the right photos. So you'll take photos of your work and you'll upload the photos. And so following directions is really important. The way that I grade is on following instructions, just FYI. Another big assignment, we have a few big assignments in this class. We have a mock interview, like I mentioned. We have a huge portfolio at the end where we turn in a lot of the things that we've already been working on throughout the term. And we have a resume project in the class. So the resume project takes the whole time that we're in this class to finish. So you're going to start out by creating a resume by yourself. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'll give you some step-by-step instructions. I'll show you the chapter I'll show you the chapters in the book that you might find useful for doing that. And I'll link you to some resume building information too. And you'll create your resume and your cover letter for a specific job that you look up in Handshake. So you'll create that resume and cover letter, and that's the first part of your resume project. I will grade that and give you feedback. When you get that feedback, you're going to make changes to the resume project. You're going to turn that back in and you're going to get more points on that. Then we're going to go to AI and we're going to run your resume through AI to kind of fix it up and make it better. We're going to compare how AI works with resumes versus you. And that should be really exciting. So for your first resume, I ask that you do not use AI to create it because I want you to use a template from either Google Docs, Pages, or Microsoft Word. So I want you to go through the process of creating a resume first. So you can see what that feels like and you can learn the process and learn the components that go into it. Then we'll use AI to kind of clean it up and make it better, okay? But I don't want you to start with just using AI because I want you to get the feel for the process of writing a resume. What you can do if you'd like to use AI is you can generate a resume using AI as an example, and then you can kind of go from there to create your resume using the template. But I really want you to kind of get in there and type your resume out. I want you to do it old school style, so you can see how we do it, see how it's done, and also retain a copy of a resume that is legit created by you that you can always make changes to, okay? We will be using AI throughout this class for different assignments because I've actually become very interested in AI. It's a very cool tool. I've been using it a lot, I think, for resume writing and for a lot of things that relate to this class and like creating cover letters and editing your work. I really recommend using an AI program called Grammarly to edit your work for college. These are things that are very important, but it's also important that we're not plagiarizing too. Okay, so I need to put this disclaimer out there, like using AI completely to write your assignments is academically not okay. It's against the rules, and you can be terminated from the college for cheating, for using AI without citing the use of AI. So if you use AI, you need to let us know. Somewhere in your works cited or bibliography, or when you show your sources, you need to tell us, hey, I use this AI in completing this assignment. But there are some assignments in this class where you cannot use AI. And if you do, then you're basically breaking our academic integrity code. Breaking that code means I have to write you up and like explain this to my boss, and you will have this on your record at Chafee, and you don't want that. So what I would say is, if it says you can use AI, you can use it. If it says you can't, don't, because I don't want you to violate that code and get in trouble. Okay, so this is the other thing about AI. And I really think that AI is pretty detectable. You know, not all AI, but a lot of AI is very detectable and it writes a certain way. And so you definitely want to use a tool, an AI tool that is going to write like you rather than just using like chatbot GPT or something like that. So like chat GPT is not a good tool to use for resume writing, but I will show you tools that are good for resume writing and show you how to use them properly to get a good result that you like. So don't use chatbot GPT to do your resume, please. That's not a good tool, but I will show you. So anyway, all of that is very important for the course. You're going to be busy throughout the course. We do have a lot of coursework, but we've got a lot of time and we're spreading it out over time. I will add in some cool things if we have time. So some things that I like to add in are things like etiquette for business lunches. So like how to conduct yourself in like a nice restaurant at a business lunch so you can look like you know what's going on. Basically how to meet and greet people, how to network, all the things that you might think are important for careers is what we're going to review in this class. So a little about me, you might be wondering, Dr. Borgi, what qualifies you to teach this class? Why are you even our teacher? So let me go into that. So I've been teaching here at Chafee for, like I said, 21 years. I used to be an in-person teacher and I taught solely in person at Chafee for many years. And just since COVID, I've been mainly online. I think I've taught one or two in-person classes since 2020. but I've since moved away to Reseda, where I am working as a full-time special education instructor for primary grades, TK through, right now I have up to third grade. I have a third grader. So TK through third grade students. And, but, my first love is always going to be Chafee and my college students. Like, you guys are, like, you're everything to me. I love you guys so much. And the thing about teaching at Chafee that I absolutely love is that the students at Chafee are such bright stars. They're so motivated. It's so great that you have decided to take this class and that you're looking to better yourself and find a career that fits you, or maybe a major that fits you, or major and a career that fits you. And the fact that you're asking these questions like, oh, what do I want to do? What career would suit me? These are great questions to ask, and this is the right time to ask them. Even though you don't necessarily need a major right this second to get through your associate's degree here at Chafee, I strongly suggest that you figure out a trajectory or a path to go down, because people that have a path in mind or have a goal in mind are more likely to make progress towards that goal. And so I would like you to go forward in this class with a positive mindset and an open mind, and just curiosity. Stay open to all of the possibilities that are available to you. So I think I mentioned we have another assignment this week. So I want to go over that too right now. So that assignment is called Meet and Greet You 2.0. And so in this assignment, you're going to basically think of yourself as the evolved version of yourself. So like, if you get into a career that you love, what career would it be? First of all. So like, for example, let's say I want to be a rock star, which I do kind of want to be a rock star. So let's say Dr. B wants to be a rock star. So right now I'm Dr. Borgie, the doctor, right? But I want to evolve into the rock star version of myself. So like, if my next career is going to be a rock star, then I'm going to reimagine myself as an evolved form of myself where I am now a rock star. And then I would describe the traits that I have that I would have if I was a rock star. So I think like, to be a rock star, I'd need to be like super outgoing. I would need to be fearless. I would need to have an excellent singing voice. I would need to be able to create music, write my own music, maybe edit music. I would need to maybe have a band that I worked with, like be able to like network with other bandmates and things like that. And I would need to probably, I'm like trying to think what I would need to evolve here. I would probably need to evolve like my marketing strategies, because I think as a music artist, you have to start out by marketing yourself, and then before you get like a contract or something like that. So anyway, my computer's about to die, so I think it's time for me to say goodbye. And I want to tell you that I'm excited to have you this term. Please check the announcements. And if you watched this all the way to the end, I'm going to give 10 points of extra credit to anyone who goes to YouTube and leaves me a message or comment about the usefulness of this video. Please let me know if this video is helpful to you or not, and why. And make sure you leave your first and last name somewhere in the comment, because not everyone uses their first and last name in their YouTube. And I will give you those points for listening to the end. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.